All right, Malliji, whenever you're ready.
There's a lag.
सहनावतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्वी शान्तिः। ॐ पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन घ्रदितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणीम् फुल्लारविन्दायतपत्रनेत्र येन त्वया भारततैलपूर्णः प्रज्वालितो ज्ञानमयः प्रजाताय स्तोत्रवेत्रैकपाणये ज्ञानमुद्राय कृष्णाय.
Looks like there is a lag, so I will continue the prayer.
Yeah.
सर्वोपनिषदो गावो दोग्धा गोपालनन्दनः पार्थो वत्स सुधीर्भोक्ता दुग्धं गीतामृतं महत् वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं भीष्मद्रोणतटा जयद्रथजला गान्धारनीलोत्पला शल्यग्राहवती कृपेण वहनी कर्णेन वेलाकुला अश्वत्थामविकर्णघोरमकरा दुर्योधनावर्तिनी सोत्तीर्णा खलु पाण्डवैरणनदी कैवर्तकः केशवः पाराशर्यवचः सरोजममलं गीतार्थगन्धोत्कटं नानाख्यानककेसरं हरिकथा सम्बोधनाबोधितं लोके सज्जन षट्पदैरहरः पेपीयमानं मुदा भूयाद् भारत पंकजं कलिमलः प्रध्वंसि न श्रेयसे मूकं करोति वाचालं पंगुं लंघयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवं यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्र रुद्रमरुतः स्तुन्वन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः वेदैः साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदैः गायन्ति यं सामगाः ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनो यस्यान्तं न विदुःसुरासुरगणा देवाय तस्मै नमः शान्ताकारं भुजगशयनं पद्मनाभं सुरेशं विश्वाधारं गगनसदृशं मेघवर्णं शुभांगं लक्ष्मीकान्तं कमलनयनं योगिभिर्ध्यानगम्यं वन्दे विष्णुं भवभयहरं सर्वलोकैकनाथं सर्वलोकैकनाथं सर्वलोकैकनाथम्.
Namaste. Can you let me share the screen? You have to enable Can you see this? Can you see the screen? Yeah. Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Shri Saraswatyai Namaha. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Shri Matre Namaha. Gomatre Namaha. Gita Matre Namaha. Shri Krishna Parabrahmane Namaha. Sureshji.
Namaste. So we are in chapter 16 today, Deva Sura Sampad Vibhaga Yoga, right? And Dr. G, this was a little hard chapter for me to contemplate. It was very dark. So hopefully Dr. G will shine more light on it. And next slide, Dr. G. Traits. Traits, there are two in humans, the divine traits and the dark traits. Kindness, compassion, courage, a caring heart, integrity, self-control, the traits we aspire for, so divine. Hypocrisy, anger, jealousy, cruelty, pride, conceit are some of the dark traits that pull us down. The divine traits lead us towards the light, freedom, and self-knowledge. The dark traits, on the other hand, lead to gloom, suffering, and bondage in this life and next. Traits.
Namaste. Can you hear me okay? Contemplating on the 16th chapter, Daivasura Sampad Vibhaga Yoga. After saluting Ganesh Maharaj, Saraswati Mata, and all the gurus, the Guru Parampara, and this August Assembly, let us revel in this chapter, because this again, like 14th chapter, is our diary, is our journal. It is, as said by many commentators, it's a mirror, an aina. It's a mirror. You can look into this chapter and then see how much of resemblance the mirror image has to our inner self. So it is very important to analyze oneself, not to be hard on oneself as well at the same time, because we have the Daivi qualities as well, Daivi Sampada as well. And we have some of these demonic qualities in us as well. Daiva, Asura, or Daiva, Asura becomes Daiva Asura, Sampat, Vibhaga Yoga. As we have been seeing from 13th chapter onwards, a very analytical teaching is going on here. The samvada between Arjuna and Shri Krishna Parabrahma, who has come to the level of disciple. The disciple has also escalated his status to reach up to the standards of the teacher. When needed, the disciple is asking questions. And after the 15th chapter, some would say that there ends the teaching, because the last verse of 15th chapter says iti. Iti means thus. So we have seen that Yomam eva masammudho janati purushottamam sa sarvavid bhajati mam sarva bhavena bharata iti guhyatamam shastram idam uktam maya anagha etat buddhva buddhiman syat kritakrityascha bharata. So after this, there's hardly anything left for Arjuna to ask. And this 16th, 17th, and 18th part of 18th chapters are called Parishishta Adhyayas. Parishishta Adhyayas are the chapters where the Lord himself takes liberty to explain some of the things which were not explained before, and also to explain or repeat some of the things which need to be stressed upon. And in the 18th chapter, lastly, Arjuna asks a question in the 17th chapter as well about Shraddha. So we'll see that. So here, now the Lord begins with these Daivi Sampad. Daivi Sampad qualities. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Abhayam Sattva Samsuddhihi Jnana Yoga Vyavasthitihi Danam Damascha Yajnascha Swadhyayastapa Arjavam Ahimsa Satyam Akrodha Tyagas Santira Paisunam Daya Bhuteshwalo Luptvam Mardavam Hira Chapalam Tejakshama Dhrutis Saucham Adroho Nati Manita Bhavanti Sampadam Daivi Abhijatasya Bharata. So Daivi Sampad, Yogi Lakshanas, as said in the 16th chapter, Tasmat Yogi Bhavarjana. So it ends with a benediction. Therefore, you become a yogi, O Arjuna. May you become a yogi. The Jnana Lakshanas, 7:11 from chapter 13, Kshetra Kshetrajna Vibhaga Yoga. The 20 qualities of Jnani, Jnanam. Then Sthita Prajna Lakshanas. And more recently, we have looked at the Trigunatita Lakshanas. So all these, they have the similar traits, and they are the same. Abhayam, it begins with Abhayam. Abhayam is such a great word in our Upanishads, in Sanatana Dharma, because Bhayam is death. Swami Vivekananda says, fear is death. Fearlessness is life. And this Swami Vivekananda was taught by a saint who was sitting under the tree. So one day Swami Vivekananda was walking by. There were so many monkeys going after him. And Swami Vivekananda was running. And this saint who was sitting under the tree, he says to Vivekananda, Maharaj, bhago mat. Koi bheet nahi hai. So look at them with fearlessness. So abhi. So in Bengali, abhi means abhayam. Abhayam vai praptosi Janaka, says Astavakra. Astavakra to Janaka in Astavakra Gita, abhayam vai praptosi Janaka. Now you have attained this abhayam. And this abhayam is similar to the jnana prapti. Nahi jnanena sadrisham pavitramiha vidyate. And we have seen some other great qualities you see in this. Abhayam sattva samsuddhihi jnana yoga vyavasthitihi Danam damascha yajnascha swadhyayastapa arjavam tejakshama dhrutis saucham. So we'll see some of the great qualities which have been mentioned here. So this jnanam, I used to always read this as dhyana yoga vyavasthiti, and Sister Garu used to correct me as it is a jnana yoga vyavasthiti, because jnana and yoga, as we have seen in the 3rd chapter, there are 2 types of knowledge which I have taught. Vividha. What are they? Jnana yogena sankhyanam, karma yogena yoginam. So the 2 paths, the jnana yoga and the karma yoga. So jnana yoga for sankhyas, those who have given up the worldly activities as well, the true sannyasis whom we look at. But karma yogis are those with that jnana, endowed with jnana, they are involved in the action. So this is detached engagement. Detached engagement. So both yas sankhya prapyate sthanam tadyogairapi gamyate ekam sankhya cha yogam cha yapasyati sa pasyati. So sankhya and yoga are jnana and yoga. Yoga here is karma yoga or buddhi yoga. And then jnana yoga or sankhya yoga. So jnanam and yogam. Jnana yoga vyavasthitihi. Because we have seen both. Nahi jnanena sadrusham pavitramiha vidyate. And we also have seen karmana eva hi samsiddhim asthita janakadayaha. Kuru karmaiva tasmatvam purvai purvataram krutam. So jnana yoga and karma yoga who are established in this, who are endowed with this. Then ahimsa satyam akrodaha tyagas santira paishunam. So ahimsa is non-violence. So non-violence, Mahatma Gandhi lived the life, experimented with the life, with his life, with ahimsa. So ahimsa is of three kinds. So there should be non-violence physically, non-violence verbally, and non-violence mentally. But again, this should not be taken as a weakness. When a family came to Mahatma Gandhi and said that, and so this particular group of people came and then they looted us and they beat us, they had beaten us, and they had seized us. And they did so much of damage to us and our daughters. And Mahatma Gandhi said, this is not ahimsa which I taught you. You should have beaten back. You should have returned with your biting teeth. So that's how you used to say. I'm not saying the exact words, but that is how he said. So it is not keeping quiet when the atrocity is upon you by others. So, but at the same time, for no reason, you should not be following any himsa, trikarana shuddhi. So vocally, vacha, physically, karmana, and mentally, manasa, vacha, karmana. Then kshama is the forgiving nature, pardoning nature, the tolerance, forbearance. In Ramayana, Janaka Maharaja's brothers, daughters, when they are cursed by Vayudeva, because Vayu, the wind god, he wants to marry them. And they say that we don't have permission from our father. Then the wind god says that when I am asking, do you need your permission? Do you need permission from your father? So then he curses them to become kurupis. They come back. And then they tell the whole story to their father. And their father says, Alankaro hinari nam kshamatu purushasyava. Whether it is nari or purusha, whether man or woman, what is the alankara? It is kshama. Kshama danam, kshama yajnaha, kshama satyam hi putrikaha, kshama yashaha, kshama dharmaha, kshamaya nishtitam jagat. This whole entire universe is sustaining because of kshama. Imagine if there is no kshama, if there is an eye for eye, none of us would have been left with any eyes now. So alankaro hinari nam kshamatu purushasyava, kshama danam, kshama yajnaha, kshama satyam yo putrikaha, kshama yashaha, kshama dharmaha, kshamaya nishtitam jagat. So the qualities, which I'll translate all the qualities into English now. So we have known time to go into the details of everything. Otherwise, we'll be stuck with these qualities. So fearlessness, abhayam, purification of one's existence, sattva samsuddhi. With sattva shuddhi, chitta shuddhi happens. With the chitta shuddhi, jnana siddhi happens. Then sattva shuddhi, how does it happen? Ahara shuddhi. We'll be talking about it in the 17th chapter. We have talked a little bit in the 15th chapter as well. Cultivation of spiritual knowledge, jnana, yoga, vyavasthitihi, charity, dhanam. We will see the 3 types of charities in the 17th chapter. So shama and dhamma. So dhamma is indriya nigraha. Shama is mano nigraha. Performance, sacrifice, yajna, tapas. Study of Veda, swadhyaya. Austerity, swadhyaya, stapa, arjavam. Arjavam is rujutvam. Arjavam is what you think, you say, and what you say, what you do. So manasyekam, vachasyekam, karmanyekam, mahatmanam. That one thing, what they think, they say, and what they say, they do. But manasyanyatta, vacha anyatta, and karmanyanyatta, duratmanam. So people say something, think of something, and do something else. So that is not right. So that is arjavam is rujutvam, trikarana suddhi. Trikarana, so these 3, manasa, vacha, karmana. So Arjuna, because of his arjavam, is called Arjuna. Rujutvat Arjuna. Arjuna vrikshavat Arjuna. Non-violence, ahimsa, truthfulness, satyam. So what is satyam? Satyam is sarva bhuta hitam vakyam is satyam, it seems. That is a definition. So bhuta hita bhashanam satyam. And this goes with the story. The story, we have talked about that. So a hunter is hunting a deer, and then deer is running and enters into a saint's kutiya ashram. And then the deer is not visible, and this hunter comes to the sage and asks, did you see the deer going this way? And that saint says, the eyes which can see cannot say, and the mouth which can say cannot see. So the hunter understands what Muni's bhava is. So then he just walks out. That is how that truthfulness is. So we have satyam bruyat, priyam bruyat, na bruyat satyam apriyam. Priyam cha nanrutam bruyat, esha dharma sanatanaha. So say the truth and say it in a non-hurting way. Satyam bruyat, priyam bruyat, na bruyat satyam apriyam. Even if it is a fact, do not say it hurting others. But at the same time, to please others, do not say a lie. So nanrutam, priyam cha nanrutam bruyat. So that is how this Sanatana Dharma teaches us. So then, freedom from anger, akrodha, and we'll talk about krodha. So we have talked about krodha so many times, and we will talk again. This krodha is krodha agni. It actually, when we get angry, we think that we are burning others, but we burn ourselves with this krodha agni. Akrodha. So tyaga shantihi. Shanti is the tranquility. So prapancho shamanam shanti. So when you are withdrawn and then be happy. Withdrawn and sad, that is depression. Withdrawn and happy, that's shanti. Prapancho shamanam shanti. So aversion to fault finding. So apaishunam, talking, looking at others' fault or just talking at the back of others. That is paishunam, apaishunam, so lack of it. Compassion and freedom from covetousness. So compassion. Tyaga shantira paishunam, daya bhuteshu aloluptvam. So mardavam, hi achapalam. So compassion, daya bhuteshu, bhuteshu daya. Freedom from covetousness. So that daya, aloluptvam, mardavam, the mrudutvam, gentleness, modesty, hri, and steadiness, achapalam. And teja, kshama, dhriti, shaucham, adroho, natimanita. So shuchi, shaucham. So shuchi, bahya shaucham, antas shaucham, and artha shaucham. So 3 shauchas. Bahya shaucham, the external cleanliness. Antar shaucham, the internal cleanliness, the mental cleanliness. Artha shaucham, what you earn is crystal clean. So freedom from envy. So tyagashan. Teja kshama, dhriti shaucham, adroho, adrohaha. Freedom from envy. Na atimanita. So passion for honor these transcendental qualities. And na atimanita. So don't think of your greatness always. So there are, when Dharmaraja goes around, he was asked after he came back, so what do you think of the people? He said, everyone seems to be better than me. And then when Duryodhana goes around and then comes back, and when he was asked, what do you think? I don't think there is anyone who is better than me there. So that is how na atimanita, dambho, darpo, bhima. So these are all daivi sampatta. Now we'll talk about asuri sampat. Dambho, darpo, bhimanascha, krodha, parushyameva, ajnanam cha bhijatasya, partha sampadam asurim. Dambha and darpa. Dambha is arrogance and darpa is pride. But there is a subtle difference between the two. Both of them may look the same. Darpa is showing off what you have. And dambha is pretension. So showing off with what you don't have. So dambha and darpa. Then abhimana. Abhimana. So we'll see what abhimana. Abhimana, janabhimana, dhanabhimana. So that you have so many degrees, so much of qualities, and then you have so many people, and then so much of money, and so much of other traits. So krodha, we talked about akrodha and krodha. Parushyam, opposite of mardavam, mrudutvam, parushyam. It's not paurusham. So its parusha is kathina walk, or being hard on others physically, mentally, and vocally. Ajnanam, we talked about jnanam, and ajnanam, avidya. These are all asuri sampada, O Arjuna. Daivi, then what is the point in knowing? Daivi sampad vimokshaya nibandhaya asuri mata. This Daivi sampat will lead you to liberation from all the bondage, liberation from dukkha, liberation from sorrow, liberation from not being happy. So that, whereas asuri mata, it is bandhaya, nibandhaya, certainly it brings you down. And we'll see how some of these qualities will bind us. O Arjuna, ma shuchaha, worry not, hakuna matata, grieve not. So this is, we have seen from the beginning, ashochya nanva shochastvam. Then we have seen in the 11th chapter, mate vyadha macha vimodha bhav, mate vyadha. Then we are seeing here ma shuchaha, and then we'll also see at the end sarva dharman parityajya, also in that verse ma shuchaha. It begins with ashochya, it ends with ma shuchaha. In the middle again it's stressed as ma shuchaha, mate vyadha, and so on. So the entire Bhagavad Gita's teaching is hakuna matata, worry not, grieve not, nothing is grief worthy. And O Arjuna, I know you are born in Asuri Sampada. So this is telling us, when we stand in front of the mirror, we see this Daivi Sampat in us, and we see some of these Asuri qualities and traits in us. So that's why this chapter is a mirror for us. Gau bhuta sargau lokesmin daiva asura yevacha daivo vistarasha proktaha asuram parthame shunu. And we have talked so much about Daivi Sampat, as we talked about from 2nd chapter onwards, 6th chapter, 14th chapter, 13th chapter. So now listen from me in detail about Asuri Sampada. Satyam apratishthante jagadahuranishwaram aparaspara sambhutam kimanyat kama haitukam. So these people, these are Nirishwaravadis. Nirishwaravadis. See, so many, we think atheists are not real atheists. So most of the atheists actually are not believers in rituals. They're actually spiritual. And these atheists, they have so many human values. But these Nirishwaravadis, they do not believe in any of this, neither values or virtues, nor any belief in that Vishnu. Vishnu is Vishnu, Shiva, so that Ishvara. So Ishvara, Isitvat, Ishvara. So that Prabhu, so this they do not believe in. Then how do they think that this world has come into existence? Aparaspara sambhutam kimanyat kama hetukam. It is produced of sex desire and has no cause other than lust. So that is what their belief is. There is no Ishvara at all. Etam drustim avastabhya nastatmanolpa buddhayaha prabhavantyugra karmanaha kshayaya jagato hitaha. So with this attitude, following such conclusions, the demonic personalities, they are not only lost to the world, but they're lost to themselves because they're lost from their own selves. Alpa buddhis, these are alpa buddhis, alpa buddhaya. Then what is their motto? Their motto is not jagat hitam, jagataha ahitaha. Jagataha ahitaha, kshayaya jagato ahitaha. So this is for the destruction of the world, like Osama bin Laden. So there are so many others, the terrorists, without any intention of doing good to the world. So there is no good to the world done. Instead, always harm. Kshayaya jagato hitaha. Swami Vivekananda motto is Atmano mokshartham jagat hitaya cha. Totally opposite of this. You see, here nasta atmanaha alpa buddhaya. There Atmano mokshartham, self-purification, and jagat hitaya cha. Jagat hitaya cha, for the world glorification. So all this life's journey is or should be for self-purification and world glorification. And what is happening here is with these people, the self-destruction and also the destruction of the world. Kamam ashritya dushpuram dambhamana madanvitaha mohat gruhitva asatgrahan pravartante ashuchivrataha. So they are ashuchivrata, they are impure. The impurities are so many which are pulled by, they are so insatiable desire, selfish desire. So kama means, one is desire, kama means lust, kama means irresistible desire. Irresistible, as Swami Chinmayananda says. Then kamam, as we have seen in the 7th chapter, is dharma viruddho bhuteshu kamosmi bharatarshabha. Dharma aviruddha kama is divine. Dharma viruddha kama is demonic. So here it is used in the sense of dharma viruddha, the one which is opposed to dharma, the desire which is selfish, which is irresistible, which leads to dambha, mana, mada, and moha, and asat. So they cannot come out of this because it is dushpuram. Dushpuram, kama yesha krodha yesha rajoguna samudbhavaha mahasano mahapapma vidhyena miha vairinam mahashanaha. Mahashana is like fire. You put so much of butter in the fire, will fire say any time enough? No. So this Yayati, he actually, after gaining the youth once more, from one of his sons. At the end of it, he says, this najatu kama kamanam upabhogena samyati havisha krishna vatmeva bhuya eva bhivardhate. So this desire is like fire, dushpuram, dushpurena analena cha. So this anala, it's like fire. It doesn't get put off by fostering it, by offering more and more in the sense of fire, by giving more and more oblations, or offering more and more butter, or offering more and more dry wood. Havisha Krishna Vatmeva Bhuya Eva Bhivardhate. So if you go on fostering these desires, they only flare up like the fire which flares up by the offerings. So Yudhishthira, okay, all these demonic qualities are there. Like most of us, this Yudhishthira, this Duryodhana, Yudhishthira is in us, who is Dharma Putra, and is also called Dharmaraja. Actually, a lot of people don't know that his name is Yudhishthira. So they either know as Dharmanandana or Dharmaraja. So Yudhishthira Kirtanena Dharmo Vivardhati. Dharmo Vivardhati Yudhishthira Kirtanena. Yasho Vivardhati Arjuna Kirtanena. So Partha, so that is the greatness of these two. And Balam Vivardhati Rukodara Kirtanena. And then if you remember Nakula and Sahadeva, there is Arogata. So these are great qualities of these Panchapandavas. And then Duryodhana is also within us, Duryodhana. So he says one day, I know what is pravritti and what is nivritti. Pravritti is getting into or getting indulged, and nivritti is withdrawing. So pravrittim cha nivrittim cha janana vidurasuraha na shaucham napi chacharo na satyam teshu vidyate. So these pure asuric tendencies, they do not know when should they get in or when should they withdraw. They don't have that knowledge, and there is no purity in what they do. There is no truth or any truthfulness in what they say. So na satyam, na shaucham. And here is the quality which are people who know both what pravritti is, nivritti is. And the great people, the siddhas and then sadhakas, so they know what pravritti, and then they try to do that. And they know what is nivritti, and they try to withdraw themselves from this. So janami dharmam nachame pravrittihi, janami adharmam nachame nivrittihi. Duryodhana says, I know what is dharma, but I don't have any inclination or intention to practice it. And I know what is adharma, janami adharmam nachame nivrittihi. And I cannot restrain myself by doing this adharmic actions. Why? Kenapi devena hridisthitena yadhani yuktosmi tatha karomi. There is some force within me who is letting me do this, who is pulling me to do this, or who is pushing me to do this. And what is that? This is vasana balam, coming from janma parampara. So that vasana actually forces us to do it. So then this vasana kshayam happens with the karma, and that karma with chitta shuddhi. So all the karmas lead us to chitta shuddhi. Chitta shuddhi leads us to jnana siddhi. And this with sattva samshuddhi, so with whatever that sattvika balam we have to try. So when I say we, that includes me too. So yatha niyuktosmi tadha karomi, says Duryodhana. And that the vasana, as Swami Chinmayananda says, in meditation, or in the heat of meditation, the seeds of vasanas are roasted. So the seeds of vasanas are roasted in the heat of meditation. So that is why, so all these qualities, what we have to foster the Daivi Sampat to counter the Asuri Sampat in us. So, and this is again a great poem from Bhagavatam. Prahlada says to Hiranyakashipa, Jahi asuram bhavam imam tvam atmanas samam mano datsva nasanti vidvishaha rute ajitatmanaha. Nasanti vidvishaha rute ajitatmanaha. So utpate sthitat tadhihi anantasya mahatta samarhanam. So, oh dear Dad, please give up this demonic mentality. Asuram bhavam, imam asuram bhavam, jahi, kill it. Do not discriminate in your heart between enemies and friends. And you know who the real enemy is? There is no enemy other than your unconquered mind. Ajitatmanaha rite vidvishaha nasanti. There are no enemies. We have seen that manohi manushyanam karanam bandhamokshayo. And we have seen that in the 6th chapter also. There is, so one's own Atma is one's own friend, and one's own Atma is one's own enemy. So Atma evahi friend, and Atma evahi shatru. So anatmanastu shatrutve vattayit atmaiva shatruvatta. So jitatmana prashantasya paramatma samahitaha. And in Telugu, it's beautifully translated by Potana. I'll just say this and then translate the same thing. Vairulevvaru chittambu vairigaka chittamunu neeku vasamuga chayavayya madayutasura bhavambu manavayya ayya neemrola meladarayya janulu లోకములన్నీ యున్గడియలోన జయించనాడవు ఇంద్రియానేకము చిత్తమున్ గెలువనేరవు నిన్ను నిబద్ధు సేయు ఈ భీకర శత్రులార్వుర ప్రభిన్నుల చేసిన ప్రాణకోటిలో నీకు విరోధి లేడొకడు నేర్పున చూడుము దానవేశ్వర. You conquered the world, whole world, but not your own inner enemy, the sixfold. What are the sixfold? Arishad Vargas are Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Matsarya. So this selfish, excessive desire, lust, anger, greed, delusion, pride, and jealousy. Behold, they failed you and they fooled you. Alas, you cannot win over your own senses and mind, O king, O king. When you conquer and contain these force, the whole world and all beings become your dear friends. So that is how these are taught. And these vasanas, to go a little bit more into the details, there are 3 kinds of vasanas that we all come into this world as a package. Deha vasana. The vasanas are Indriya, Vishaya, Gocharas, and the sense objects and the senses which are going after the sense objects. So that is Deha vasana. Then Loka vasana, all the worldly things, all the worrying about the worldly things. Shastra vasana, again what we are taught, what we read, and our knowledge and the ego from our educational status is. So Deha vasana, Loka vasana, Shastra vasana. So this vasana kshayam happens with karma when done with chitta shuddhi. Karma when done as karma yoga. So then there is Ishanatrayam. Ishanatrayam is this intense desire. It looks like that there is Dareshana, the lovebirds you see. Dara means spouse, Dareshana. Dhaneshana, look at that ant, so just dragging that cubic, the cubic of that sugar. Then Putreshana, you see how the mother cow licks the calf. So this is great, but When it is intense, it is called Ishana. And man has all these three, Dareshana, Dhaneshana, and Putreshana. So the demonic forces. There are people around us, and then these traits are within us. So we have to be aware, awake and be aware, beware and be alert, my friend. Watch for the demonic forces in the world and in your own mind. Crooked politicians, wicked policymakers, cheating masters, and looting rascals. The mind afflicted with desire and anger, greed and pride, delusion and jealousy. Intellectuals polluted with ego and selfishness, whims and fancies, likes and dislikes. And there are these Duryodhana, Dushasana, Karna and Shakuni, Dushta Chatustayam. Kumbhakarna and Indrajit, Ravana and Mairavana. Mairavana has got these 5 faces. 5 faces or 5 Indriyas. So they all have to be killed at the same time. And that was done by Panchamukha Hanuman. One day, Vanara Narasimha Khagarat, Prodashva Vaktranchitam. So that Hanuman, Panchamukha Hanuman, killed that Mairavana. And Ravana, Dashamukha. What are these? Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Matsara, Ahankara, Mamakara, Raga, Dvesha. These are the 10 faces. And that is done, that is killed by none other than Rama, Atma Rama. That is, Atma Rama can kill the Ravana within us. Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipa. Hiranyaksha, the eye is on Hiranya only, the all glittering things. Hiranyakashipu, the glittering, so all that glitters is not gold. Kamsa, Kamsa is for Himsa. Shishupala, Shishupala is the one who is cursing personality. And Kakasura and Mukasura. We know Kakasura, story from Ramayana. The crow torturing Sita Devi when Rama was taking a nap on the lap of Sita Devi. Then Mukasura, Bakasura, Narakasura. Shumbha, Nishumbha, as we see in Devi Bhagavatam and Durga Saptashati. Raktabija and Dhumralochana. Raktabija, whenever his drop of blood falls on earth, another demon of the same quality is born. So that is how, so these desires. So when the desire is fulfilled, another desire arises. When the desire is not fulfilled, the anger arises. So we have seen that also. Dhyayato vishayan pumsaha sangasteshu upajayate sangat sanjayate kamaha kamat krodho bhijayate krodhat bhavati sammoha sammohat smriti vibhramaha smriti bhramsat buddhinaso buddhinasat pranashyati. Simhika, Shurpanakha, Tataki and Mandhara. Cruel forces as men, mean men and mean women, all are around us and within us. Awake and be aware, beware and be alert, my friend. Watch for these evil forces in us and around us. And then the gateways to hell, we'll talk about it, are the 3: desire, anger, and greed. Trividham narakasyedam dwaram nasanam atmanaha kama krodhastadha lobaha tasmade tatrayam tyajet. My friend, try your best to kill this beast, the killer of all good. Bring out the best in you, the God. So then, Chinta. Chintama parimeyam cha pralayantam upashritaha kamopabhoga paramaha etavaditi nishchitaha asa pasa satair baddhaha kamakrodha parayanaha ihante kamabhogartham anyayena artha sanchayan. So Chinta. And they're worried because so acquiring all the wealth is one worry. That is yoga. And when you acquire all of it, then procuring is another worry, kshema. So yoga and kshema. So niryoga kshemavan, say niryoga kshemavan bhava Arjuna. So, and I take care of your yoga and kshema. When you think of me, Ananya, Chintayanto Mam, Ejana Pariyupasate, Tesham Nityabhiyuktanam Yogakshemam Vahamya. So forget about this Chinta. So because Chinta is such a thing, there is two rhyming similar sounding words, Chitta and Chinta. Chitta burns us after we die. So Chitta burns the body when we die. Chinta burns this body and mind and intellect when we are alive. See, which is powerful. Then Asha. Asha is such a thing. Asha is like a chain. So Asha, Balavati O Rajan, Viparitahi Shrunkala. It is actually a Shrunkala, which is pretty unique and opposite. So what happens when you're tied down with Shrunkala, with chain, you rather sit at one place. But when you are tied up with this Asha Shrunkala, you keep running after the things. Because Asha Pasha Shatair Baddhaha. So Yaya Baddha Pradhavanti Mukta Tishtanti Panguvat. So when this Asha Shrunkala ties you up, you run after the things because of this Asha. Because this Asha is also Dushpuram, like Kama. So Asha, Shrunkala, when it ties anybody, they run after the things. But when they are released from this Shrunkala, they actually sit so inactive like a lame person. So desires and expectations, greed are like an iron chain, and strange and quite contrary are its effects on persons. Those who are bound by it run amok, whereas those who are let loose stay inactive like a lame person. Then this young boy who is born to a cobbler, he works as a night watchman. His father actually works as a night watchman. And then one day, his father cannot go to Janaka Maharaja's palace. And then he asks his son, can you please go do my duty? So all his duties for every 3 hours, he has to go around the palace. So just make sure that there are no thieves around and then no nonsense is going around. And this boy actually was a great sage in his previous life. But what happens one day, this cobbler and his wife, they don't have any kids. Then another monk comes and tells that, there is a sage actually sitting very close to your hut. Do something for him. And he may not take anything, but, he is walking on this hot beach sand next to this, ocean. So maybe, because you're a cobbler, just make some chapels and then leave it there. And you come out and he'll take it and then he'll bless you with the sun. So he looks around and then the sannyasi comes and then he walks on this hot, under the hot sun on the hot sand. And then these new chapels are there and then they're left there. And he thinks that, oh, okay, maybe this cobbler has made it for me, and he takes and then he blesses them. So that's parigraha. So parigraha. Aparigraha should be the core value of sannyasi. So then he dies because he owes this cobbler. So he's born as this son. He's born as this son of this cobbler. And that other monk says that, if you want long life for this son, do not accept anything from him. Do not accept anything from him. But anyway, that is a story. And then he goes around the Janaka's palace. And then every time he goes around and he says this, Ashaya badhyate loko karmana bahuchintaya ayukshinam na janati tasmat jagrata jagrata. Arise and awake, beware and be aware, tasmat jagrata jagrata. My friend, here in this world, we are bound by desire. From desire to deed, deed to desire, we run and perspire. Swami Ranganathananda says, alas, in the process, it is the precious time we forsake. Therefore, my friend, beware, be aware, arise and awake. And next verse, 3 hours later, when he goes down, Kama krodhascha lobhascha dehe tishtanti taskaraha jnana ratnapaharaya tasmad jagrata jagrata. Desire, anger, and greed are in a great unity. They hide within us as thieves of Trinity, the thieves of Trinity. They steal gems of wisdom with a great knack. Therefore, my friend, beware, be aware, arise and awake. Sampada swapna sandeshaha yuvanam kusumopamam vidyut chanchalam ayushyam tasma jagrata jagrata. All wealth comes and goes like a dream. All youth flows fast and passes like a stream. Alas, the whole life feels like a very brief break. Therefore, my friend, beware, be aware, arise and awake. Then last round. Mata nasti pita nasti nasti bandhu sahodaraha artho nasti gruham nasti tasma jagrata jagrata. Because from his previous life, now he remembers. And he wants to be released of this bondage. When you die, neither your mother, nor your own father, neither your brother, nor anyone dearer, neither your palace, nor your treasure bring you back. Therefore, my friend, beware, be aware, arise and awake. Janma dukkham, jara dukkham, jaya dukkham punah punah, samsara sagaram dukkham tasmat jagrata jagrata. We cry when we are born, and we cry when we are worn out. We cry for a wife, and we cry at wife. We cry the whole life, day and night. The birth, the youth, and the death are all like a sorrowful lake. Therefore, my friend, beware, be aware, arise and awake. So that is how, so this chapter teaches us these great verses. And these people, the Asuri Sampatta, how do they behave? They behave like these dons. They behave like these crooked people. Ida madhya maya labdham imam prapse manoratham ida masti idam apime bhavishyati punardhanam aso maya hatashatruhu anishye chaparanapi ishwaroham aham bhogi siddhoham balavan sukhi adhyo bijanavanasmi konyosti sadrisho maya yakshe dasyami modishye iti ajnana vimohitaha. They think, so much wealth do I have today, and I'll gain more according to my schemes, a plan. So much is mine now, and it will increase in the future more and more. He is my enemy, and I have to kill him. And my other enemy will also be killed later. I am the Lord of everything. I'm Dawn of this world. I am the enjoyer. I'm perfect, powerful, and happy. I'm the richest, surrounded by aristocratic relatives. There is none so powerful and happy as I am. I shall perform sacrifices. I shall give some charity, and thus I shall rejoice. So in this way, the fools think. Aneka chitta vibhrantaha, mohajala samavrutaha. So many different ways, perplexed by various anxieties. Ahankaram, balam, darpam, kamam, krodham cha samshritaha, mamatma paradeheshu pradvishanto abhyasuyakaha. So these asuyakas, they hate me who is in them, and they hate me who is in others. Atma sambhavita stabda dhana mana madanvita yajante nama yajnaste dambhena avidhi purvakam. They also perform yajnas, but to show off. So showing off is the fool's idea of glory, says Bruce Lee. And what does happen to them? I shall take care of them at some point. Tanaham dvishatakruran samsareshu naradhaman shipami ajasrama shubhan asuri shveva yonishu. Asurim yonimapanna mudha janmani janmani mama prapya iva kaunteya tato yanti adhamam gatim. So as Shishupala was taken care by Krishna after 100 mistakes, as Hiranyakashipu is taken care by Narasimha Swami, and as all these asuras, the demonic personalities, traits were taken care by the divine avatara incarnation of the God. So we see that during Dasara, Vijayadashami, during Deepavali. So all this, the the war between devil, evil, and the divine qualities, and the success which is celebrated when the divine qualities conquer the demonic qualities. The three gates to hell, as we just talked about, Trividham narakasyedam dwaram nasanam atmanah kama krodhastatha lobha tasmat etatrayam tyajet. The three gates are leading to this hell, or this kama, which we talked about, selfish desire, irresistible desire, the last. So all the three. So kama is desire, kama means lust, kama means irresistible desire, kama means selfish desire, and kama means dharma viruddha kama. So dharma viruddha, anger, greed. So all these, every sane man should give these up, or try to give these up, for they lead us to the degradation of our own soul, our own self. Etairvimukta kaunteya tamodvaraistribhirnaraha acharatyatmanashreha tato yati param gatim. You have to do this. We have to learn to do this for atmanashreyaha. So because there is shreyascha preyascha. So we have talked about the shreya and preya, shreyas and preyas from Kathopanishad with reference to the verses in the 2nd chapter. Then, if you don't believe in this, and then you give up all the scriptural knowledge, and you behave your own way, yash shastra vidhimusrujya vartate kamakarata nasa siddhim avapnoti na sukham na param gatim. So for such a person, there is no siddhi, there is no shuddhi, there is no sukham, and there is no better life. There is no supreme destination. So na sukham, na param gatim, na siddhim. Therefore, so that's why we talk about this Gita, the celestial, the manual of humans. So manual of life, the Gita celestial. Tasmat shastram pramanamte karya vyavasthitau nyatva shastra vidhanuktam karma kartum iharhasi. Therefore, Shastra is pramana for us, the standard set by the values, the do's and the don'ts. So Shastra means Shasati Trayati. So Shasati means it ordains. Trayate means it protects. Then Shamsanatvat. Shamsana means Vyaktikarana. It reveals what is good and what is not. And we have so many Shastras. So Shastras starting from Vedas, Shrutis. Then Shrutis are 4, divided into 4 by Vedavyasa Maharshi. And they are divided into all Rigveda, Yajurveda, Samaveda, Atharvana Veda into 2 main portions, Karma Kanda, Jnana Kanda, and there is Upasana Kanda. So Karma, and there we talk about rituals. Jnana, where these are called Aranyakas. Aranyakas means not only they are taught in Aranya, but there is no Rana in our mind. There is no war in our mind. There is no Kurukshetra in this mind, in our mind. So that the Vedanta means the bottom line of Vedas is Upanishads, because they are at the end of Vedas also, literally at the end of Vedas. Then the Smritis, Upavedas, Vedangas, so Upaveda, Ayurveda, Dhanurveda, Gandharva Veda, or Gandharva Veda, then the Stapatya. So then there are other Astra Veda, Astra Vidya and all. Then Vedangas, the 6 parts of this, the Veda are Shiksha, Vyakarana, Chandas, Nirukta, Kalpa, and Jyotisha. Then we have the Shed Darshanas, Nyaya, Vaisheshika, Sankhya, Yoga, Purva Mimamsa, Uttara Mimamsa, Vedanta. Then we have Puranas, 18 Puranas, 18 Puranas. And then we have Itihasas. Iti ha asam. Thus it happened. Iti, thus, ha asam, it happened. And they are Ramayana and Mahabharata. So in the midst of Mahabharata, we see Bhagavad Gita. And this Bhagavad Gita is Sarvashastramayi Gita, Sarvopanishado Gavo Dogdha Gopalanandana, Partho Vatsa Sudhir Bhokta, Dugdham Gitamritam Mahat. Sarvam Krishnarpanamastu. Sureshji.
Yeah, gates. As we climb, so we see on that stairway to hell, the gates sharpen into focus. As we ascend, desire the first gate, welcoming us with its splendor, glitters, and extravaganza. No number of visits is enough to satisfy. Greet the next gate, invites us with its big discounts, constant streaming, never enough to fill the heart or the home. Anger, the final gate, the door swings open in an instant, a raging fire and coals of fury, meant to injure others, but doing more harm to its originator. Every human should avoid these three gates of hell to find the ultimate truth, says the Gita, that song divine.
Shilpaji, Malikji.
the ending phrase. Gita Mahatyam Gita Shastramidam Punyam Yah Patet Prayatah Puman Vishnoh Padamavapnoti Bhayashokadivarjitaha Gitaadhyayanashilasya Pranayama Parasya Cha Naiva Santihi Papani Purva Janma Kritani Cha Malanirmochanam Pumsam Jarasnanam Dine Dine Sakradgitam Bhasisnanam Samsara Malanashanam Gita Sugita Kattavya Kimanyai Shastra Vistaraihi Yasvayam Padmanabhasya Mukha Padmadvinishrita Bharatamrita Sarvasvam Vishnu Vasradvinistritam Gita Gangodakam Pitva Punarjanmana Vidyate Sarvopanishado Gavo Dogdha Gopalanandanaha Partho Vatsa Sudhir Bhokta Dugdham Gitamritam Mahat Ekam Shastram Devaki Putra Gitam Eko Devo Devaki Putra Eva Eko Mantrastasya Namani Yani Karma Pyekam Tasya Devasya Seva Kayena Vacha Manasendriyedva Buddhyatmana Va Prakrute Svabhavat Karomi Yadyat Sakalam Parasmai Narayana Samarpayami Sriman Narayana Samarpayami Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavasishyate Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Sarvam Sri Krishna Arpanamastu.
Thank you.